So I decided to go back and really just look and absorb what we're actually getting for season 1 mechanics. It's something that a lot of people are sending me messages, comments, etc., talking about how, hey, this isn't really something that I was excited about. I'm going to wait for the big patch coming right before season 1 drops. And hopefully that is going to be a huge deal as well. But honestly, this isn't too bad, and I want to talk about it a little bit more in preparation for season 1, and of course, speculate a little bit on that patch. But first, today's sponsor, Mobalytics. So today's sponsor is Mobalytics, which I'm super excited about. It is free to download the app in the description or pinned comment down below. This thing's got ultra low locations, tier lists, class builds from your favorite creators, and my personal favorite, which I showed you all the other day, a complete stat breakdown of what you can reroll when you head over to the Enchanter. Blizzard doesn't show this in game. The best bet you got is to put Mobalytics on a second monitor, pull it up on your phone, and just keep it open while you reroll. There is literally no other way to go about it unless you've memorized every stat, which is insane in of itself. Not to mention, if you download the app now, you're going to be entered into a giveaway for a chance to win a Diablo 4 Collector Edition or a statue of Inarius or Lilith. Be sure to click that link in the description and download the app now to get use of all this information here. Thanks for sponsoring this video. In terms of season mechanics, this is what they decided to tell us. And so today I'm going to assume that this is kind of what the main seasonal theme is. They talked about seasonal quests, and it looks like we're exactly getting that, where we have this plague infecting people, and then you're going to randomly find these malignant creatures, as you can see behind me. It's a malignant berserker. You kill it, and you get some unique socketable gems, essentially. And that's pretty much what they mentioned. That's the season 1, which is being received very poorly right now by the community. When I posted that video, a large majority of you were basically saying like, yeah, this is just not interesting to me. I'm going to move on. And to be honest, if I look through this and just play this for a couple seconds, you kill the enemy, you get the little heart that spawns, you go ahead and you activate it, you activate another elite, cool, it's kind of like a mini event, whatever, nothing bad, nothing really like spectacular about this. It's an interesting idea. In fact, I think this is all a pretty interesting idea. You're going to kill this, and then you have a chance to drop those unique caged hearts, which you could then socket into your gear, as I mentioned in a previous video. Now, these caged hearts are sort of like legendary aspects, is kind of what they mentioned. If I skip ahead here to a little bit of a deeper part, and you can see here, this is what one of them looks like. You can see 266 item power, level 20. I assume these scale just as if it was a normal item up to like 820, you know, that insane item power. And you can see the item effect, critical strike critical strikes electrically charge the enemy for 2.89 seconds, causing lightning to arc between them and any other charged enemies, dealing 64 damage. It's hard for me to say how much 64 damage really is compared to like a level 20 character. I think it's pretty average to like below average. And you can see on the right hand side that the jewelry actually has colored sockets. You can see there's like a bluish purple one and then like an orange one. Couple things to note about this. One, these gems seem more interested in building out like new combos, which could be cool. But then the other aspect of this is that your overall builds from previous are going to get worse, because actually your skulls in your amulets or your jewelry were one of the best ways to get extra armor. You know, we're talking about 750 potential armor from that slot. And then if you're running Aspect of Disobedience, that's a 50% increase on that potentially, oftentimes being on average about 1,000 extra armor, which is huge in the end game. That is a massive amount of armor. And so this definitely changes things up in terms of build viability. I assume based on the way the sockets look, you're not going to be able to socket in both your skulls and your hearts. So you're going to have to pick one. The hearts could be better than your jewelry socketed with skulls, but we'll have to see what those actually are. To be honest, this aspect of the season mechanic doesn't really intrigue me all that much. I find it a cool little addition, but I can guarantee you that the vast majority of players are going to find these random hearts around the map, maybe go to the malignant tunnels and try out farming for it, and then never come back and farm it ever again. That is what the vast majority of people are going to be doing. In fact, I would wager and say that the big seasonal buff or seasonal mechanic is actually like the battle pass and the smoldering ashes finally being released into the game. In conjunction with this, the additional legendary aspects that they'll be applying and uniques that they'll be adding to the game. So the seasonal mechanics aren't even necessarily the big part of Season 1 right now for me. It's the fact that we're going to get this and the new build options, which is really, really cool. So this is a way to get extra bonuses. You can see behind me if I flip myself over, one of them is actually additional experience from monster kills, which is going to help casual players certainly they'll level up a lot faster. And then, of course, if you've already done a lot of the game already, you're going to be able to level up faster that way as well. But overall, it's just a bunch of minor little bonuses. And then, of course, hopefully some game-changing, build-defining legendary aspects added to the game. So that's kind of what we can expect in Season 1 in terms of actual Season 1 mechanics. It's really not that much. And I can understand the sentiment being associated with this, saying, yeah, this is just not interesting enough for me to stick around. I totally understand that. For me, actually, the thing that I am really excited about is the big patch, because they have clearly continued to say that Season 1 is arguably going to be defined not just by the seasonal mechanics, but arguably what they decide to do with all the quality of life, respecking costs, builds variation, all these different things that people have been asking about. Because even in the previous live stream here, they were just starting to talk about some of the respec costs and how they're going to add potentially a free reset scroll, which depending on how easy to access it is, it could be really, really cool. But I want to see things like the mount being a little bit more enjoyable for standard players, right? I found the mount to be just a fun experience, but I certainly understand when people talk about the barricades and they talk about the big mount cooldown being like 30 seconds if you get shot off your mount. That's a huge deal. You have things like, again, build variation, and the ability to swap builds is just non-existent pretty much right now unless you're a hardcore grinder. Of course, any sort of bug that's kind of game-breaking right now still needs to be fixed. And then, of course, some tuning out of all these different things. As I mentioned before, the pacing of the game probably needs a good look, and the way we kind of develop our characters in terms of itemization probably need to look as well. And I think that that is really what's going to change people's minds. If this isn't what you expected, I recommend just waiting until that first patch and then seeing. Obviously, if you don't have fun playing the game, just move on. It's not that big of a deal. Me personally, one of the big deterrents, the reason why I am not super excited to log into Diablo 4 and play all the classes and test all the builds, well, we already established how some builds are just really, really bad, but also the fact that they are not adding the ability to swap over Fog of War and the Renown grind between characters right now. So when that comes into the game, alternate characters are going to be immediately way more fun for me, because right now when I log into my Necromancer, all of the map is still covered up. And so I have to go not only to all the strongholds and unlock them all again, but also I have to pull up a map on my second screen and pay attention to that while I'm walking around instead of just doing it all within the game right now. And that is honestly a big deterrent for me to actually dive in to really grinding out all these alternates. So for me right now, I'm just having fun playing a hardcore character on the side just because that's way more fun for me. And I imagine that a lot of people are also doing that as well. And then I'm still continuing to test the Rogue. I have a feeling that I'm just going to play the Rogue when the Season 1 starts because I just really enjoyed it. And to be honest, even though Necromancer has been a lot more fun than I had expected it to be, and Barbarian has been a lot more fun than I expected it to be, Rogue is still peak performance for me. So that's probably what I'm going to be playing come launch. And I'm excited to start a new character, brand new season, brand new seasonal blessings, brand new seasonal mechanics, and hopefully new builds. That's what I'm most excited about. So hopefully this is something that you guys are a little bit more excited about. Honestly, I get the sentiment both ways. I personally, I'm leaning towards the more excited portion, mainly because I think they're going to do a big change, and it's actually going to be a good change when come that big patch. So hopefully I'm not overhyping it for myself. Hopefully you guys are going to be staying in tune with what's going on, and hopefully it's going to be something that you guys enjoy. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Is the seasonal mechanics that they displayed here something that you're interested in? Is it good enough to kind of hang in there, etc.? Let me know in the comment section. Also, I'm still sick, guys. I'm still sick. My voice is still off. I'm trying to recover as fast as possible, but you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. Thanks for watching. See you all for the next one.